I was skeptical about this one. I mean, I've seen foldable kayaks before, but most of them felt flimsy or took forever to set up. I was ready to write off the Oru Coast as just another gimmick until I actually took it out on the water. What changed my mind? Well, let me tell you, it's one thing to read specs online and another to feel how stable and solid it is when you're paddling through choppy waves. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the setup time is unreal. I've spent way too long wrestling with hardshell kayaks or struggling to strap foldable ones to a roof rack. With the Oru Coast, it's literally from box to boat in under 5 minutes. You unfold the panels, click them into place, and pump up the air chambers. No tools, no sweat, just a quick assembly that feels sturdy by the time you're done. I took mine out on a lake last weekend, and by the time my coffee was cold, I was already paddling. That's a game changer for anyone who doesn't want to waste half their day prepping for a trip. Speaking of trips, the portability is next level. I live in a small apartment with no garage, so storing a traditional kayak isn't an option. But the Oru Coast folds down to the size of a large suitcase, about the same as a weekend duffel. I've tossed it in the back of my hatchback, driven 2 hours to the coast, and had it ready to launch before most people even find parking. No roof rack, no trailer, no wrestling with straps. Just grab it and go. That's freedom right there. Now, let's talk about how it handles on the water. I wasn't expecting much from a foldable, but the Oru Coast surprised me. It tracks straight, cuts through waves smoothly, and feels surprisingly stable even in a light chop. I took it out on a river with some mild rapids last month, and it handled like a dream. The hull design gives it real rigidity once it's inflated, so it doesn't flex or wobble like some cheaper foldables I've tried. And the seating? Comfortable enough for a full day on the water, no back pain, no numb legs. I've even taken my niece out on it, and she had no trouble staying balanced. That says something about the stability. Durability is another big win. Oru uses a 5-layer drop-stitch construction, which basically means it's built tough. I've dragged it over rocks, scraped it against docks, and even left it in the sun for a few hours without any issues. The material feels thick and well-made, not like some flimsy vinyl that's going to pop at the first bump. I've had it for months now, and it still looks and performs like new. That's peace of mind you don't get with most inflatables. And let's not forget the versatility. The Oru Coast is designed for lakes, rivers, and even coastal waters. I've used it in calm bays, slow-moving rivers, and even on a small ocean inlet. It handles all of them without a problem. The skeg system helps with tracking, so you're not constantly fighting to stay straight. And the weight capacity is solid up to 300 pounds, so it's not just for lightweight paddlers. I've seen families of 4 use one of these for a day trip, and it held up fine. One thing I really appreciate is the attention to detail. The kayak comes with a paddle, a pump, and a storage bag, so you're not scrambling to buy extra gear. The bag is well padded, the paddle is lightweight and sturdy, and the pump is efficient, no more huffing and puffing for 20 minutes just to get it inflated. Everything fits neatly inside the bag when it's folded, so you're not left with a pile of loose parts. Now, I won't pretend it's perfect. The only real downside I've found is the weight when it's fully inflated. At around 36 pounds, it's not heavy, but it's not featherlight either. If you're carrying it a long distance from your car to the water, you might feel it after a while. But honestly, that's a trade-off for the stability and durability. Also, while it's tough, you still need to be careful with sharp objects. A stray knife or a jagged rock could cause a leak, so you'll want to avoid dragging it over anything abrasive. All in all, the Oru Coast is a fantastic option if you want a kayak that's easy to store, quick to set up, and genuinely fun to paddle. It's not just a novelty, it's a real kayak that performs well in real conditions. Whether you're a weekend warrior, a traveler, or just someone who doesn't have space for a hardshell, this thing delivers. If you're on the fence, I'd say give it a shot. It's one of those products that sounds too good to be true until you actually use it. And if you do decide to grab one, you can find the link below. Happy paddling!